The church bells rang slow and heavy across Red Hollow. Dust swirled along the wooden steps as Anna Calloway stood at the altar in white lace, hands folded, chin lifted. She did not look afraid. She did not look nervous. She looked like a woman making a decision. Across from her stood Silas Boone, the most feared rancher in 3 counties. Broad shoulders, scar down his jaw, eyes that had seen too much and trusted too little. People whispered he'd buried men with less ceremony than this wedding. Yet here he was, waiting for a bride. "Do you take this man?" the preacher asked gently. Anna's voice didn't shake. "I do." Silas watched her carefully when he said his vows, as if expecting her to disappear in a puff of smoke. But she didn't. She slid the ring onto his finger like she was sealing a contract. Because she was. No one questioned the marriage. Not out loud. Anna Calloway had arrived in town 6 weeks earlier with nothing but a small trunk and quiet manners. She claimed her parents were dead. Claimed she was seeking stability. In Red Hollow, stability meant aligning with power. And no one held more power than Silas Boone. But what the town didn't know, Anna hadn't come for protection. She'd come for camouflage. That night, when the guests stumbled home and the moon climbed high over Boone Ranch, Anna stood alone in the bedroom Silas had given her. She stared at herself in the mirror. White lace, soft curls, a bride. Slowly, she knelt. From beneath the trunk at the foot of the bed, she pulled a wrapped bundle of oilcloth. Inside it rested a revolver. Polished, loaded, familiar. She stepped outside into the cool night air and walked beyond the barn, past the water trough, to a patch of open dirt beneath an old mesquite tree. With steady hands, Anna lifted her wedding skirt and dug. The hole wasn't deep, just enough. She laid the revolver inside, covered it, smoothed the earth flat. Then she whispered into the dark, "Not unless I have to." Silas Boone knew violence. He knew the way men looked when they were lying. He knew fear by scent alone. And something about his new wife was too controlled, too precise. She moved like someone trained to watch doors, count exits, weigh silence. On the 3rd morning of their marriage, he found her in the barn before sunrise. She was adjusting a saddle with practiced hands. "That's a cavalry tie," he said from the doorway. She didn't flinch. "Is it? You don't learn that in finishing school." Anna turned slowly. "Good thing I never went." Their eyes locked. A test. Neither looked away. The first sign of trouble came a week later. 3 riders appeared at the ridge. They didn't approach the house. They just watched. Silas saw them from the pasture. Anna saw them from the kitchen window. But unlike Silas, she recognized the way they sought their horses. Disciplined, military, organized. They weren't cattle thieves. They were hunters. And she was the prey. That night, she lay beside Silas in the dark, staring at the ceiling. "You ever regret marrying me?" she asked quietly. He didn't answer right away. "Regrets for men who had better options," he finally said. A small smile touched her lips. "You think I married you for your charm?" He huffed stuffily. "I figured it was my cooking." Silence settled again. Then she said, barely above a whisper, "If men come here looking for me, you should let them take me." Silas turned onto his side. "No. You don't even know why. Don't need to." She swallowed. "They're dangerous. So am I." But Anna knew the difference. Silas was dangerous because life had hardened him. The men on that ridge were dangerous because someone had paid them to be. 2 nights later, the attack came. No warning, no shouting. Just the crack of rifle fire shattering the barn lanterns. Anna stood frozen. Horses screamed, not from fear. Silas was out from calculation. This was the moment. The one she had tried to bury beneath lace and vows. Another shot rang out. Closer. Silas moved toward the door. Anna grabbed his arm. "There are 4, she said quickly. 2 will circle wide. 1 favors his left leg. The tallest takes orders from whoever pays most." Silas stared at her. "You seem awful sure." She met her gaze. "Because I used to lead them." The words landed between them like a dropped blade. No time for explanation. Another bullet tore through the porch railing. Silas didn't ask questions. He simply nodded once. "Then let's finish what you started." Anna ran. Not away, but toward the mesquite tree. Gunfire echoed behind her as Silas returned shots from the porch. She dropped to her knees, digging frantically through the dirt. Her fingers struck oilcloth. She pulled the revolver free, hands settling into a memory older than fear. When she rose, the bride was gone. In her place stood the woman she used to be. Precise, unshaken, deadly. She moved along the fence line, using shadows like old friends. The first rider never saw her. The second barely had time to curse. By the time the third realized the plan had failed, Silas had him pinned behind the trough. The tallest man, the leader, locked eyes with Anna across the yard. Recognition flared. Calloway. He spat. You should have stayed buried. She leveled the gun. You first. The shot rang clean through the night. Then silence. When it was over, 4 horses ran riderless into the dark. Dust settled. The ranch stood intact. Silas lowered his shotgun slowly. Anna stood 20 feet away, revolver hanging loosely at her side. The moon lit the white of her nightdress, now streaked with dirt. You gonna tell me who I married? He asked quietly. She walked toward him, stopped close enough to see the question in his eyes. I used to run with men who believed power came from fear, she said. We robbed from thieves, hunted worse men. But somewhere along the way, I became something I didn't recognize. Outlaws? He guessed. She nodded once. I walked away. They didn't like that. And the marriage? Her voice softened. That part was real. Silas studied her face, searching for deception. He found none. Only truth. And maybe hope. You buried the gun. I wanted a different life. He glanced at the fallen riders in the yard. Looks like the old one followed you. Anna stepped closer. If you want me, gone. Silas cut her off. Dig another hole tomorrow. She blinked. For what? For anyone else who thinks they can take what's mine. A slow breath left her chest. You're not angry? He stepped forward until they were inches apart. Anna Boone, he said firmly, testing the name. You think I married you for peace? For the first time since the shooting started. She laughed. Soft. Relieved. Alive. He reached down, took the revolver from her hand, and looked at it carefully. Next time? He said, handing it back. Don't bury it so shallow. Anna met his gaze. And this time, when she leaned in to kiss him, it wasn't camouflage. It was choice. By sunrise, Red Hollow would whisper about the gunfire, about riders who never returned, about how Silas Boone's new bride stood beside him when danger came, but they would never know the full truth, that under the white lace, she had always been a warrior. And this time, she wasn't fighting to survive. She was fighting to stay. If you'd like, I can now AI